What are you doing? I love your box.
Yeah.
Go have fun. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Max Life. So today I want to show y'all something that is pretty cool. Now, both of these things you're going to need in this how-to video. This is raw honey and this is a red onion. Both of these did come from our farm, but I want to show you what I'm making today. My raw onion, I'm going to peel this off. I tried to get a bowl. Should have gotten a bigger bowl, to be honest with you. But I just want to take this outer peel off. Now, I will say this. Some people actually wash their onions. I'm not going to wash my onion. When I put anything over in honey, I want it to be as dry as possible because water will actually spoil honey. It's one of the only things that will spoil honey because honey typically doesn't go bad. So I'm just going to take several layers off of this onion and get down to the clean part of the onion. And if anything, I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe some of the dirt off. So I'm going to take a minute and get this off and get down in here to the nice clean onion. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this peeled back section off of the bottom and just detach that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this top down just a little bit more too to make sure that I have a really, really nice and clean onion, and I do. Like I said, some people say, hey, wash your onions. I just prefer not to because I don't want anything wet going over into my honey. Now, I'm not actually using this jar. I'm actually going to use this quart jar right here. It is clean and dry with a wide mouth lid. With my purple onion, we actually dug these up. It's been a couple of weeks now, and they are very tasty. This is going to be, for me, a two-fold syrup that I'm making. It's really, really easy to make. But for me, like I said, it is going to be a two-fold syrup, really. This will aid in cooking, and it will be used as a cough syrup and decongestant. So when we start dealing with colds and stuff coming up in the future, right after summer is fall, right? This will definitely come in handy. So now that I have my onions over in my jar and they are pretty strong, usually I wear goggles and have to cut up a lot of onions. We have been harvesting our onions. We've harvested 2 of the 3 sets. I actually have onions in the freeze dryer right now, and I have 1 more set to go. And I will wear goggles when I harvest those. The only other thing you need to do is pour your raw honey over your onions. And I will use this in cooking, and I will also use this during cold and flu season. Now, that will be my double purpose for my red onion syrup. After, of course you can see it's not all filled yet, so after it kind of goes down and settles some, I will add more honey once I get this quart completely filled. This will go over into a very warm place. It doesn't matter if it's sunny or dark, really just as long as it's warm. The sun's really not gonna hurt this, but I have read that some people do 2 weeks. I have read that some people do 6 weeks. I'm gonna go with a happy medium. I stick with 4 weeks. So while I'm infusing, whether it's oil or honey, I have done a couple of different honeys before. I have used cayennes, I have used different bell peppers. Onions is another wonderful thing to infuse. I have, oh gosh y'all, I can't recall all the things that I have done. Lots of tinctures. I prefer not to have my tinctures in sunlight, but infusing oils, I have done calendula, all kinds of different things. But for today, this is what we're doing, is red onion syrup using honey. And I am going to let this sit for 4 weeks. And y'all, it literally is just as easy as that. The only other thing I need to do is get my top on and date this. This is going to go over, wrong top y'all. This is going to go over in my pantry because my freeze dryer is going to be going for a really long time. And my pantry stays pretty warm with the freeze dryer in there. And that is all I need to do for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, I'm gonna come in, I'll get a strainer and pour this over into the strainer with a jar in the bottom to get the onions out, and then you will literally have red onion syrup. And I have never cooked with this, but I am excited to be able to do that. And it is just that easy, y'all. Infusing things is really, really easy to do. You do want to keep an eye. Now you see that I covered my onions. I might need to add a little bit more, probably, and maybe because I just shook it up and my onions moved around. But I don't specifically like any mediums that I put in to be sticking up. But you do just want to keep an eye on it from time to time. Check for mold and make sure you don't have anything trying to grow. That's not very common, but you just want to check and be sure. This is a really, really sweet honey. It's not a fall honey. So it should be pretty pleasant to cook with and take as cough syrup. And y'all, it literally is just that easy to make red onion syrup. Just make sure that your onion is really clean. Like I said, I specifically don't like to wet my onions. I peeled it really well, wiped it off really well, cut it up, got it over into a clean jar, making sure to try to keep my onion down in the honey. We're gonna let this sit for about 4 weeks. Then I'm gonna get those onions out of there by just straining the honey into another jar. Make sure you date that so that you will know when it was made. Honey keeps indefinitely. If you wanted to store it in the refrigerator, you can, but honey doesn't go bad. And this honey, more specifically, because I didn't put any water on my onion, should last a really, really long time. But always make sure that you smell, maybe a little taste test. If for any reason your honey gets questionable, of course you don't want to keep that. But honey in its raw form does not go bad. Even infused honey, will stay for a really long time, but always use common sense. I'm really excited about this red onion syrup, and now I'm going to date it and label it and put it on the shelf for 4 weeks. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the homestead of making something pretty unique. I will say this to end up our video real quick. There are some others out that I've kind of been reading about and studying a little bit recently, and some of that folk medicine. I have seen where some people add different things to this concoction, including pine resin, activated charcoal. So those are some things that you guys may want to look further into. Other things that you can add to this to make it a little bit more powerful for coughs and congestion. I have considered doing that, but I'm going to knock my first step out first, making the red onion syrup. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the homestead. God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.